Good morning, Gigi. How are you?
Hi, Nikki. I'm doing well, and yourself?
I'm doing wonderful, my friend. I'm very excited to be here. Very excited to continue our topic.
I'm
our,
scared of the topic today.
Our hot and spicy topic.
And I'm normally not scared for topics, but this one is like,
You're scared of it?
you know what?
So
you threw me off guard when you're like, oh, so our next session is going to be about XYZ. And I'm like, no, she didn't. Just pull a Giselle when Giselle had, balls,
This is what happens.
Yeah.
When we hang out together. You know what I was just thinking about?
Yeah.
I was like, we've just made a year.
Yeah, we're almost. So some people have asked me
in October.
As a matter of fact, Isaac asked me. He was like, "How long has your podcast been going on for?" And I was like, "A fucking year." I was like, "Where have you been?"
I know.
It's
crazy.
But then I realized
hiatus in the summer, but
I realized that we're not the people that are promoting it to our offices. Like, hey, do you want to hear what we're talking about?
Oh God, yeah.
I warn people. I let them know. I'm like, listen, you're more than welcome to listen, but there is no judgment.
There is no judgment. Absolutely.
Because if there is, then for me, I'm like, you are just no use to my life.
True.
So
this is a safe space.
It is,
ladies and gentlemen, safe space. We want you to feel comfortable listening to us. We want you to feel comfortable interacting with us. As we are comfortable, we're going to, again, I keep promising this.
No lo diga, because we're going to get there and it's okay and everybody knows.
When you guys can see us and you guys can see how comfortable we actually are when we make these recordings, you guys are going to understand my vibe. You will understand my vibe. So anyways, on that note, let's get to the sauciness. Having sex on your period.
That's a wild one.
That is a wild one. So obviously, we are open and honest and we are ourselves here. So when I was younger, right, I didn't care about having sex on my period. It didn't bother me. If I had to have, it was fine. I mean, I was also a teenager, so it was, if I was horny, it was happening.
You don't care.
I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
It was just going to happen. So in reality, I think that progressively, as I've gotten older, I'm a little bit more cautious with it because your body obviously is different. It's not like when I had my moments when I was a teenager, I knew exactly when my heavy flow was, right? So you start your period and it's like very light at the beginning. That didn't matter. That was go for it, Then that second and third day were massacres. So for us to have it during that time, it had to be like, we're both horny. We're doing this.
Which you are,
this is
by
happening.
the way. Within those days, that's like your days that you're like, oh my God.
Yeah,
I need this
your
right
hormones
now.
are just like, raging all over the place. So I loved having my sex with my period because you were like constantly wet. It was just deliciousness, And then of course it was like a lot of mess and you just didn't care. Like you had blood like down your fucking thighs.
Correct.
And you're just like, okay, we'll just clean it later. Just keep going.
Keep going. I need to finish.
Just keep going. Like Dory, just keep swimming. Just keep going. But yeah, it was just awesome. So obviously now, because I think our period with, I'm not in premenopause. I thought I was, but I asked my GYN and he's like, no, girl, relax. You get your period every month. You are not in premenopause.
You're not.
No, nowhere near. I'm like, great.
And also, it all depends on when you got your period too.
I got it very early.
So
I got it when I was 11.
Oh, I got it when I was literally turning 10.
Okay.
Yeah,
I got it when I was 11. So real. I mean, both of us.
So you're almost there.
Hopefully. Well, my mom was 50. She didn't have her period anymore, and I'll be 50 in 3 months. So we'll see. But anyway. We're not going to rush it. I don't want to go through any of the signs, and I pray to God that it's not crucial. But with that said, the period is not the same all the time. I have months where it's just like 3 days, super light, nothing. But then I have months where it's like
you question your whole life.
Yeah, I'm like, Lord, what the fuck? I'm like giving birth to afterbirth here.
Yeah.
It's horrible. But I only get cramps like the first day, so it's not that part is not crazy. So anyway, let's go back to the details of how we made it happen, right? So
before or now?
No, before.
Okay. So
go.
You can tell me about before, that's fine. But I think I'm more concerned about now, only because this is where it changes, right? When you're younger, anything goes. Anything
Right.
goes because you're experimenting, you're trying new things, you don't give two fucks about anybody else
Right.
but yourself.
But yourself and what you're
right?
feeling at the moment.
And what you're feeling at the moment,
Right.
right? And then you feel like there's just no consequences to anything.
Nope.
So you do whatever you feel like doing.
Yep. You
But
can stay
now-
in the car. You don't give a rat's ass if you stain anything
Correct.
dirty.
You're like, let's just go.
Yeah.
But now, how is it different now? Like as when you even turned into your 30s, into your 40s, how that has changed, right? The planning that goes behind it, or better yet, the ability to understand your other partner on how they feel about it, right? And things like that.
Well, I want to say that for me, the biggest piece that's different now is because I enjoy foreplay now as being older. I enjoy foreplay more than the actual intercourse, right? Than the penetration and the whatever. I do. I enjoy the oral sex and the this. And obviously when you have your period, that gets a little complicated, obviously, because
timing.
So either you jump out of the shower, make sure everything's nice and washed, and then go for it at that moment until you do the gush, right? That whole situation. And then you have to do it with something underneath. We use a fucking doggy pad. Right? So you use a doggy pad, or you use something that's not going to penetrate into your mattress.
Yeah.
You don't want that to happen, because then you're like,
or you have sex in the shower.
But
which I find to be very boring, by the way. I don't like it. And when I speak about my experience later on, then I'll just share about it. But
so obviously, even when I was younger, the shower was always the alternate when I was on my period. But when I was younger and I was more agile and thinner and more flexible, that was easy. It was not a big deal. But now, being a thick snicker, is a little complicated. It's only, it's going to be doggy style, where that's boring. Like, I'm not getting anything out of this. Like, what's what I mean? So, yeah, I do see that now it's different. It's a little bit more complicated. Like you said, a little bit more planning. So it's not as fun as it was when I was younger. Definitely not as fun. Okay, go. You tell me your story. Did you lose your track of thought?
No. I know. Okay. I'm just trying to think of how would I start this. So,
okay,
let's start with the question: is do I have sex on my period now?
Do you have sex on your period now?
So the answer is no. I don't have sex on my period now. The other question would be: do I like having sex on my period? Yes, I do.
Okay.
I enjoyed it before. I still would enjoy it now. But I don't get it as often, or it's very minimal. If that's
because
the case.
Also you have to begin that he
so I have to
and enjoys it.
Correct.
Very true. We gotta get the other part to be on
so
board.
In my case, it's that my partner is not fond of it, right? He's like, absolutely fucking not. It's not happening,
Oh, got it. Okay, yeah, that's true.
So to me, it doesn't occur it just doesn't occur. Right. Obviously now I'm pregnant, so there is no period.
Right.
So
there is no period. Amen to that.
But when I was younger, yes, I enjoyed it very much. I loved it. I even had a tampon get stuck in me because I was so lazy to even take out the tampon to have sex, and it got stuck in me, and I ended up going to the
ER to get it removed.
ER. I called my mother, and I was like, "Mom, I got a tampon stuck inside of me. Can you help me take it out?" Right? And it took.
And what happened to the cord? It went in.
It went in. It flipped over, so I couldn't grab it. And every time I would grab it, the piece of paper would just break.
Oh my goodness!
It was the weirdest shit ever. And my mom was like, "Are you that fucking lazy that you couldn't take off the tampon?" And I was like, "Yeah, I was in a mood.
That was me,
and that was me, and that's it." So then, after she tried it and it was unsuccessful, then I ended up going to my doctor's office
to get it
and
removed.
I'm like, "Oh, well, can we get this out of me?" And the funny thing is that it happens quite often.
Yeah?
Yep. I was not the only one.
Okay.
So according to my doctor, he was like, no.
I'm sure.
He was like, this happens.
I would love, I'm sure, and our listeners would love it, to have a gynecologist on our thing. You imagine?
And like talk about the stuff that they see and
experiences that they see.
That's funny.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
That is funny.
Let's see. We got to do the research.
Or maybe a midwife. Maybe a midwife would be more inclined to speaking about it more openly.
True.
So loved it. If I had the opportunity to do it now, I would still love it. I'm not the shower girl either. I'm like, not at all.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it just takes the fun out of it.
Yeah.
And the feeling behind whatever it is that you're looking for out of it, right? And when you make a choice to have sex on your period, it's not because you're planning to have sex on your period. It's because you're at that moment that
you feel it.
You're horny. You want that person inside of you at that moment, in that second. So for me to have to be like, I'm in the moment, I'm feeling horny, I want you now, to then have to go take a shower, para eso ya déjame tranquila and I'll just masturbate.
Exactly.
Because that pleasure, that sensation.
You take care of it yourself.
Yeah, that sensation is going away, right?
Correct.
By the time I'm done with the shower, cleaning it up for you, making it smell just the way you like it, pampering it all up and serving it to you in a silver plate.
Right. Correct.
Like, no, I don't have
time. Or on a pee-pee pad.
Yeah, on a pee-pee pad as you're doing. Like, for me, I'm like, I don't have time for that,
Listen, when I was younger, we went to, obviously, young, not with Bebe, but younger, before kids and everything. I don't remember which boyfriend it was at this point. I don't want to think about that. But we went somewhere on vacation and we ended up taking the shower curtain because we didn't want to get the towel. We didn't have anything to put. So we took the shower curtain and put that shit on top of the mattress.
That's hilarious.
Yep.
That is hilarious.
And of course it was like on the day that it was like the massive, the massive flood happening. So that was interesting. I remember that. That was fun. But yeah, there's been those very savage situations, but it's fun. At the end of the day, that gives you growth experiences,
It does. It does. I wish my partner would be more open to it. I really wish that, because I think that there's so much more than just having sex there's always so much more with, I think, the topics that we talk about, because there has to be trust. Yeah. Again, right? That trust, that safetiness with your partner has to be there in order for that to happen, especially now that you're older. When I was younger, I could have cared less, right? But now that I'm older,
everything's more measured.
Everything is more measured. And I'm like, you know what? I trust you enough. Like if I was to have, if I wasn't with Sergio, right, and I'm not involved and I'm having a one night stand or I'm dating somebody, it wouldn't be that easy that I would have sex on my period, right?
Right.
Because we need to establish that comfort zone, that trust, and of course, it's like anal sex.
Yeah,
exactly. So for me, I find that there's no difference to both. It's almost the same thing. You do it, you want it, you're horny, and you want it right now at the moment, and you don't care what's happening, whether you have hemorrhoids up your butt or you're on your period. You're like, let's just get off and do what we have to do.
Right.
But in my situation, my partner's not as open to it as I would like him to be. And I also,
true. I mean, if I go back into,
I also have to respect that.
Absolutely. If I go back into the history, I can't remember. I'm sure there must have been a partner that wasn't really 100% keen on it. But if I did enough to provoke him, it would happen. My partner now, he could care less if I was dipped in shit. He could care less.
He's like, oh, okay.
He doesn't. I think that's the Cuban savage in him. He doesn't care. He loves it any which way.
He's like, wait, I'm getting sex? No problem.
Yes.
Oh, no problem.
There is no hesitation.
There's a hole there? No problem.
Absolutely. So I guess that's a good thing. But yeah, I 100%
mine is very different.
Agree.
Mine is very different.
Well, because yours was not born in Cuba.
No. Mine is very Americanized. Like,
exactly.
Like he doesn't even like me walking barefoot in the house.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah. He's one of those. He's like, oh no, that's not classy enough, or you're, like it's just not good. Like you don't walk barefoot. Eso es salvaje.
I know. Ay, salvaje.
Sí. Yes. And I'm like, dude.
No puedo.
Yo no puedo.
No puedo. No puedo. So on that note, I wanted to they take a small detour and go into knowing what are the craziest spots. I think we kind of asked this question on another one of our episodes.
Yeah, I think we did hit it on some of the episodes that we spoke about.
Yeah.
Which I guess we were talking about, like doing it in a car and things like that.
Right. We tapped into that, so like doing it in the car. Doing it, if you were in an apartment building and you would go into the stairwell or the staircase and doing it there. Breaking off your underwear.
Yeah. Putting it to the side and you're like, or
putting it to the side and breaking it off to clean and not leave the jizz all over the place or whatever the situation was. Like, those moments they're like, imprinted in your brain. Those wild, you lose your brain, that really, everything could be falling apart around you, but you want to have sex, and you want to have sex at that moment, and you do what you got to do to get it done.
Yes. So I've had a lot of those moments, obviously younger, right?
Yep.
And the older that you get, once again, it's like, okay, so where are we doing this? How are we doing it?
Right. You plan it more. You just think about
which
it
I
more.
hate it. I really do hate it.
Yeah,
There is a part of me that I'm like, oh, this becomes so boring because I don't like the planning behind it, right? I just, it feels like a task to me, right? But if it happens, it happens. Like, there's been many times where Sergio and I get inside the pool, right? And we end up just having sex because it just happens, right? Or there's been moments before, prior for me meeting Sergio, I would be at a friend's house and I met someone there and we just ended up having sex. And wherever we have a little spot to have sex, we'll just go ahead and have sex. I've gotten
being respectful to the people around.
We don't do it in front of them.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. That's another show.
I've gotten caught by the cops doing it inside the car.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think we've all.
And
if you have not been caught in a car having sex, you have not lived life.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Seriously.
Let's see. Done it in the park. The park is there. Yeah. Like I said, I've done it in a pool. Done it in front of. It's so funny. I've done it in front of my door where I used to live in Boca. And all I had to do was just fucking open up the door, unlock the door to just get in the house and have sex. But it just happened right in front of the door. Like, I didn't even have a moment to get inside.
Yeah.
So for me, before, any opportunity that I had, wherever it was,
you took advantage of it.
I took advantage. Now, obviously, I travel with a baby. I go out with a baby.
It's different. Now it's different. So you have another person in front of you all the time.
All the time.
We have permanent attachments now. Yeah. Like I said earlier, life changes. You get older. You obviously now are more alert to your surroundings.
Yeah.
Where, as you said, when you're younger, you could give a rat's ass where you are, who you're in front of, what are the consequences.
Funny story. When I conceived Penelope, it was at my cousin's wedding, right? The day of her wedding, but we were already at my cousin's house. So I was drinking. Like, they had this specialty drink. It's called Chance. And they named it Chance. It's not really a drink, but that's the name of their drink. Because when they met up, they had a bartender just mix them up something with what they liked. And this was the drink.
Oh, okay.
So they had that at their wedding. So I was like, holy fuck, this tastes good. And I'm drinking. And Sergio doesn't drink.
Right.
So Sergio's talking to the whole world, as he does always, as I'm drinking.
Public relations.
Yes. And by the time that I get to my cousin's house, it's nighttime already. We had a blast. And I'm sleeping in my cousin's room. But it's just the room, they always leave it for us. And we ended up conceiving Penelope there. Funny story, when everyone finds out that I got pregnant, that I am pregnant, right? My cousin that ended up getting married, she does a calculation. She was like, wait, you conceived on my wedding day. And then my younger cousin, he's like, wait, you slept on my bed.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, okay, guys, yes, I had sex here. In your bed, on your bed, in your room.
Oh my goodness.
But the wonderful part about it is that something beautiful came out of it, which is Penelope, right?
Right.
So now
it was all because of chance.
It was all because of chance, because Sergio and I took a chance.
Yes.
So now that I have baby number 2 on the way, they were doing their calculation, and my cousin was like, "Did you have sex on my bed again?" I was like, "No, I wouldn't do the same thing, in the same place,
What are the chances?
What are the chances that it's in the same place? I was like, no. But it ended up happening either on a cruise or right before we got back from the cruise that we took in February. So his cousins were like, and I'm like, who the fuck cares when the fuck you conceived a child? I was like, why is people so up in this business?
Oh my God.
That is the most funniest thing. They're like, oh my God, you conceived while we were on the cruise. Okay, well, what else am I supposed to do when I'm on vacation with my partner? Like, we have sex.
Exactly.
So it's just so funny because people were so much interested on the date that I conceived.
That you conceived.
Like, I'm like, does it really make a difference to you? I could understand now my cousin feeling like, you had fucking sex on my bed.
And I conceived there, yeah. And you're like, oh, sorry, sorry.
When I go there, which we go there often to Port St. Lucie, they they find
That's
a
like the
way
joke.
that is a joke all the
Yeah.
time, all the time. You know,
That's so
thank God they
funny.
didn't take it personal.
No,
You
of
know,
course not. I mean,
so
you
when they
were
come over
invited there, you were
here,
there for a wedding. You guys
yeah.
were gonna spend the night. I mean,
So when they come here, we're like, hey, no baby making here, okay?
that's so funny. That's funny.
So yeah, we try.
That's
We
sweet.
try. I've tried different places. I've tried different places. It's pretty good. I enjoy it. If I can get back to that as well and be more spontaneous with that, I would really like it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it is harder with a toddler because
Yep.
she's always around.
Yeah, you're limited.
But
You're
whenever we
limited.
have the opportunity, I think so. I think that's very important and that's still good. You know, keep it, like just spice it up all the time.
Absolutely.
I can't have sex just in a bed. And if I am going to be having sex in my house, like I'm the type of girl that I need my shades up. Like if it's up to me, I will be having sex in the patio all the time.
Yeah.
And if you see, there's no like privacy plans here, right?
Right.
So Sergio's more like, well, we
Yeah.
can't. They're watching us, the neighbor, and I'm like, I don't give two fucks.
Yeah.
If Jim across knows that we're having sex and he desires to watch, then let him watch. I can't control what he does.
Right.
But don't tell me that I can't have sex in my patio because I feel like that's so unfair.
Right.
Yeah,
as long as you're not doing it like outside on the curb where you're actually doing it in front of their house.
Yeah.
But if you're doing it in your property, it should be perfectly fine. And the reality is, and this is going to be kind of like our end note, and we're going to continue because our series is just going to get spicier and spicier.
Yeah.
But I, with my ex-husband, I went to Amsterdam.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And I think I might have had started to touch base a little bit on that trip with Serge one day here at your house. But in your mind, if you are a person that is sexual, right? I think it's an infinity of ideas and things that you can do. I don't really think that there is a limit to a time and space of when and how to do these things.
Correct.
It has to be you and your partner in agreement, right? I do firmly believe that when you go into a monogamous relationship and the sex becomes, the same routine and it's planned, it does get boring.
It does.
Eventually, it will get to that point where you're going to start, wondering, things and just having thoughts externally of your bond, and he's going to do the same thing, or your partner's going to do the same thing. So I think that conversation needs to be had between two people so that you can tap into the possibility of, doing different things. And we're not even talking about, going crazy outside the box, but you just don't know what the capacity is to what you can do as a couple unless you explore the thought of it, right? So
like even having the conversation with your partner is quite interesting, because it could lead to so many things, right? Better understanding and openness amongst one another, right?
Correct.
Like I enjoy talking about sex, and everybody that knows me, all of my friends know, I care about your kids. I really do. You know? But I don't want to have a whole sit down session talking about your fucking kids because I don't.
Right.
And I'm a mom myself now, right?
Right.
I don't want to talk about Penelope all the time. But I can talk about sex all the time.
Right.
Because for me, it's such an important topic.
Because it gives you growth.
It does.
It gives you growth.
And I like to see other people's perspective on things, right?
Right.
Like, I don't need you to tell me how great sex was with John.
Right.
That's
great
that
for part,
you.
The way you felt and the outcome is not the purpose of the conversation.
Correct. Yeah. I know
it's
how
you can learn from other people's experiences.
So for me, that really brings joy to my world, as I say.
Yeah.
And I love it, especially when I can sit down with my partner and talk about it, right? I love it even more.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, with that, I think we can close off today. We're going to bookmark Amsterdam and the excitement that I found there. And I think that everyone in this world should go to Amsterdam with their partner and experience what I experienced. It wasn't more beneficial to me because of the person that I went with, but I am definitely going to go back with.
Well, you let me know when you go back.
Yes.
Yes.
It's definitely coming in the future because he's never been, and I think he would enjoy that very, very much. And I think a place that you need to go with someone that has the same views as you.
Correct.
And that makes it just so much more exciting,
Mhm.
So yeah, with that note,
Well, Amsterdam,
Gigi,
here we come.
and there you go. In the future,
know.
I don't know. We have a lot going on. I have Thailand, I think, or Japan coming up
Nikki,
we have a lot coming up.
nobody wants to hear about all your traveling right now. We get jealous. We get
Don't
jealous.
hate. Don't hate. All right, guys. We love you. Like always, have a blessed and beautiful weekend, and we will see you soon. Well, talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Until next week, guys.
Bye.
Bye.